dude, you're an idiot.
I'm doing very well, Jen. Is it just going to be me and you, or Eli and Zach going to pop in?
Yeah, they'll talk every once in a while. But
Every now and then we'll kind of
he was already right away.
It's kind of what we're used to you attacking us. So
Yeah.
Sorry.
look at
Let's just put it this way. Who do you see as the quarterback week 1 for the Green Bay Packers?
I see.
ladies and gentlemen, and the what's the quote? Oh, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching at home, welcome to Open Book. This is not a complete show because Eli isn't here. Of course, we have Andrew backstage. Jen is by my side, so there's a little bit of normalcy, at least. So we got to get Shimon to redo the intro. Maybe not. Maybe not.
I mean, it's still pretty relevant.
It really is, because we don't really know anything. I mean, I'm like 99.99% sure Aaron Rodgers is coming back, but I mean, still, you never know. Jen, how are you doing?
I'm tired. It's the last week before spring break, so work is exhausting, but pulling through just a couple more days and then fun next week. So looking forward to that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you like this, Jacob. JJ, I'm glad you're here. Very, very convenient timing for someone across the pond to come on this show for no particular reason at all. We'll get to it eventually. But yeah, Jen, I'm glad to hear that you're exhausted.
Oh, that's super nice of you. Thank you.
Well, if you're exhausted, that means you're staying busy, and staying busy is always good. So, and yeah, you're right. Next week is going to be very fun because you're coming to Los Angeles, and we are going to arrive at the Universal Hotel, whatever the hell it is, for Eli's wedding. Our boy Eli is getting married. He's tying the knot.
I told him last week, I was like, Zach and I will be in the crowd ready to announce the Rodgers, because I'm sure it'll happen while he's getting married. So be in the crowd waiting to announce that, ruin the day or, make the day. We'll see which one. But
it's funny because I told him the exact same thing. I'm like, knowing our luck, that fucking news is going to break while we are at the wedding. And that's just how it's got to be. That's how it's going to be. So yeah, we got that out of the way early. There is not going to be a show next week. We are going to be at Eli's wedding. So Open Book, Eli's wedding. Hey, you never know. Maybe we'll go live from the wedding just because.
No guarantees that it's anything exciting. Well, you guys will probably just be drunk and having a good time.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Which
a show that you won't remember.
Yeah, that could make for good television. Or whatever this is, good live streaming. But to the important stuff, not that Eli's wedding isn't important, but to the other important stuff concerning the football team that we are all here covering, the Packers are finally going to the UK. They're finally going across the pond, and I know this has been already beaten into the ground with a stick so many times already. Everyone's already talked about this. We all know the Packers are going to the UK. It's going to be great. But I mean, still, this is like a monumental kind of just thing. They were the last team that hadn't made that trip to play in London, and I know everyone's complaining about the loss of a 9th home game that the Packers never even really had. Okay, it was non-existent. Put aside your selfishness for just 1 week. That's all you gotta do. Put aside your selfishness for 1 week. Think of all the people, all the Packer fans that we interact with on a daily basis, from the UK, from Ireland. I'm talking about one kid in specific. We all know who he is. And
I actually tried to get him on here, but it's like 3 a.m. there. So he's like, I don't think I'll be able to stay awake. But maybe closer to that game, we'll figure something out.
Yeah, Dara would be he would be an awesome guest to have on the show.
He did tell me he'll rewatch it in the morning though. So
he's a little fucking liar. He's not gonna do that.
Well, we'll see now because we're talking about him, so he'll let us know.
Yeah, no, you're right.
This is the test.
But yeah, people like that, people who have been waiting so long just to see this, just to see the Packers play somewhere nearby. They don't need to spend an arm and leg to fly into the US.
That literally they'll fly out just for like training camp because they can't afford a game. They can only afford to fly out, make the trip to Green Bay for training camp and stuff like that. So yeah, I had no problem hearing that they were going to the UK. I think it's fun, and it's exciting. It's different. Yeah. So we have to wake up a little bit early for some football. It really doesn't affect us as fans. I mean, like you said, it's a ninth home game that they never had before, and there's Packers fans worldwide, and this just gives them more opportunity. And they'll basically make it a home game in London at this point, so I'm not worried about that. And there's certain players who have expressed interest in playing a game overseas who, I anticipate they will return to be able to do so. So that's just my little 2 cents there.
And then you have guys like Adrian Amos who who is completely dreading playing over there.
But Lazard, he put something out there, so it makes you think that he'll be back, or have his dreams crushed because he won't. But
yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what to make of that. Like I quoted that tweet where he was like, "Oh, we're going to the UK, we're going to London, whatever the hell he said," and I was like, kind of in my head, I was like, "Huh, maybe they've already had discussions. Maybe they've already told him they're going to bring him back. They're just negotiating the details." I mean,
we have learned to look way too into every single thing.
Literally every
We're
single
conditioned to like Adrian Amos. He's upset, but it's like, is he upset because he wanted to go and he's not coming back? Like, you can overanalyze every single thing that any Packer tweets out.
Yeah, especially the eye emojis.
I think it was I don't remember if it was last week on Open Book or if it was Packet Day. I was like, if there's a way that I could mute eye emojis on Twitter, I would at this point.
You can't you? I mean, it's just like
I don't
muting
think
a word.
Can you mute an emoji? Probably not. But or no, I think it was here last week because somebody tried to tell me in the chat, and I think it was complete BS. But
well, this was something I missed on Twitter yesterday. I mean, I had no idea. I just saw everyone flaming some guy for the tier thing. Can you explain that to me really fast? Do you have any idea what that was?
Is this the thing that if you're not born or conceived in Wisconsin, then you're like not a top tier? Am I quoting that right? Because I haven't been super active either, but I think it's something along those lines.
I'm pretty sure. And then Aaron Alice just completely obliterated his ass. So
yeah.
Enough of the obliterating asses. Jeez. We need to get what? What's the issue?
Nothing, just careful phrasing there, I'm sure.
Everything I say is done with a certain intention. Okay,
Aaron.
Okay, so we need to get into some of the guys that are coming back, the guys that are not coming back. I mean, I think it's safe to assume right now that Aaron Rodgers is going to be the quarterback of the Packers this season, potentially even beyond, depending on whatever contract they work out, because they're going to work out a short-term extension. He's going to be the highest paid player in the league. And apparently the Packers are doing that purely. It's just like a formality, just in case he decides not to retire, just in case he decides to come back. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they would they would navigate that whole thing with David Dunn, Aaron Rodgers' agent, and the Packers brass. I don't think they would be going to that length and trying to map out the foundations of a new contract if they weren't relatively positive, if they weren't super confident that he wasn't going to come back.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because every conversation you have about Aaron Rodgers also leads to a conversation about Jordan Love, and it's just been a mess all across the board. I feel bad because Jordan Love didn't ask to be in this position, but he is. And, obviously I've expressed, I want Aaron Rodgers to come back. I think that he's the best chance at, winning something, but obviously you have both sides with the Jordan Love stuff. And I don't know. I know you've kind of put stuff out there. I've been pretty quiet through it all, but, I do agree. I think that, Rodgers comes back, there's the things like with Tom Clements and, the Packers. I feel like if they didn't want him back at this point, they would have given up trying. And obviously Matt LaFleur, I think it was today, expressed, patience with Rodgers' timeline and respecting that. So yeah, there's just a lot of hoops to go through, but with one conversation about quarterback, you have another. And I think that's kind of what's more exhausting to me is just, the arguments about Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers. And I'm just ready for a decision to be made because it's exhausting just to read it, let alone have to come here and talk about it every week.
It's just, yeah, no, you're right. It's a polarizing subject because I mean, you're right. You talk about Aaron Rodgers, you got to talk about Jordan Love and how the Packers apparently whiffed on that pick, which we really, I mean, you can say
That's
what
a
you want, but we have
hindsight conversation, though.
purely,
You don't
we
know
we have
what.
62 pass attempts to go off of to gauge where Jordan Love is right now. He was pretty much a redshirt his entire rookie season. And last year he came in, played here and there. I mean, he made his first start at Arrowhead Stadium of all fucking places against that defense that was blitzing him every single goddamn play, nonstop. He didn't adjust for it, but at the same time, that's something that the coaching staff has to decipher and how to help him through that. And he made some nice throws in the second half against the Lions in the season finale, but he also had the 2 interceptions. There's what this past year was a foundation to build off of. It was I've said this so many times before, but it's like a stepping stone. I said this at the start of the season. I'm pretty sure like last summer. I said whatever we see from Jordan Love in the preseason, whatever we see from him in the regular season, under any circumstances he has to play, it's a stepping stone. It's a building block. It's something that they can evaluate and kind of, move from and help him get better. That's really all it is. They don't need him to be Aaron Rodgers' successor right now. They don't need him to be the next, the future of the goddamn franchise. They just need him to learn. They need him to get better. And that's going to be a process, as it would be with any young quarterback. He's what? He's 22, 23 years old. Pretty sure he's 23.
He's younger than your quarterback, Joe Burrow. So
yes, my quarterback. Thank you for respecting my Bengals fandom. I appreciate it. But yeah, he's young and he's in a great situation for him. But as far as like just pressure wise, like it's a shitty spot to be in. If you're Jordan Love, and you have half of the fan base torn between, backing you. You have half of the fan base talking about how much of a shitty pick that was and how it was just, the Packers could have taken T. Higgins or traded up for Justin Jefferson or something like that. I can't imagine how he feels. I mean, that's a garbage spot to be in, but at the same time, I mean, this is, like I said, this is a process and we cannot gauge where he is at right now.
Yep.
That's pretty much the end of it. Now, I agree with you that Aaron Rodgers getting back here, that's 100% the right move. You get you get the back-to-back MVP back, and you have him lead your football team. Whether he might choke in the playoffs again. Honestly, everybody talking about like, oh, yeah, he's coming back just to fucking choke in the playoffs again. I hope they get to that point. I hope they are in the playoffs and in a position to potentially choke it away. I really hope they are, because some of these motherfuckers have been so goddamn spoiled their whole lives watching this football team. Consistent playoff performers and, a Super Bowl, 2 Super Bowls in a lot of their lifetimes. And they don't realize being on the other end of that stick, the shitty end of the stick, where you're flirting with mediocrity every single year. You get a bottom 5 draft pick every single year and nothing comes of it. You don't want to be in that position. You don't want to endure every single year, just the dismal defeat. You're so used to losing when it's like, oh, if you can get to 500, then that's a win. That's a victory. You don't want that. If you have a guy that's going to consistently get you into the playoffs and put you in a position to get to that next level, I know they haven't their last 3 trips. I get it. But if you're in a position to do that every single year, then that's all you can ask for. And I mean, come on, the regular season with Aaron Rodgers, all the crazy shit the Packers do on offense and how well they gel, all the great moments. You're telling me that you don't enjoy that? Like, you're sitting there and telling me that, not you, but
I was gonna say, wait, am I supposed to like actually answer?
No, you're good. You're good. But like, you're telling me you don't enjoy that? The ride, the journey. I mean, that's all they talk about. It's all the players talk about. It's the journey, So
I'm really glad that you're saying this, because basically this is what Eli and I, for like the last way too long, like we extended last week's show a little bit too much, arguing with the chat about this. So that might be some of those tweets that you saw today from some of our viewers, but we were kind of on that same page. You're on the same page with us. So it's kind of, just kind of echoing back the things Eli and I were saying last week about just, I like to win. And I think the people who are ready to move on, like, you're not as ready to be a losing team as you think you are. So that's just kind of the bottom line for me, is I like to win. And when you have a back-to-back MVP quarterback, your chances are much higher. So I'm glad that we're all kind of at least on the same page. But yeah, last week got a little bit heated. You missed that with the chat. We were all a little bit in disagreement. So we'll see what they say to you, but you know,
Oh,
we
well.
all have our opinions, and
I'm ignoring everything
Yeah.
Riley is saying because Riley's just a troll. He's a hairless troll.
True
so I'm
North
not gonna-
Packers fan is correct. The chat did not agree with Eli and I. And you obviously know how Eli gets with Aaron Rodgers, so it was very passionate and very, you know. But yeah, it was. I mean, it was kind of fun because you have that conversation. You know, you see different perspective and from different viewpoints. I can understand wanting to move on, but there's some that are just. It's kind of like more petty, and that one doesn't, you know, sit as well with me. Like there's logical reasons as to moving on, but he was, you know, it was getting really heated. We kind of had to cut it off, and we didn't have our producer with us. It was just us two trying to control a narrative that was getting, it was spiraling a lot.
Heated?
What was
Heated?
that?
What the hell happened while I was gone?
Like,
God damn.
See, you should have just rewatched the show. Yeah, like it was really aggressive and it was passionate, and yeah, we got at it with the chat. And I mean, obviously people watching who can't see the chat probably had no idea what was going on, but it was, yeah, I mean, people disagreeing with Eli about Aaron Rodgers, it got really feisty.
I don't even know where to go from that. I mean, I'll say I want Aaron Rodgers back. I want him here, and I think their best chance at winning is getting back. You see how this kid is so fucking mean to me. Unbelievable. That's why I pick on you in the chat, Riley. That's why I am relentless.
You just kind of, you know, sometimes I just skip over the things that he says.
Yeah, me too. You were upset that Zach was not here to do the article. Well, I'm here today. I'll make up for it. I promise.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Zach. Everyone was just mad at us for no reason, taking it out on, you know, whatever. But
I want Aaron Rodgers.
What they want.
I want Aaron Rodgers there. They're a better team when he's there, and they're a playoff team when he's there. With that being said, if a team called me, like say if it was the Broncos or something, and they offered me some kind of crazy offer for Aaron Rodgers, I would take it. I swear, if it was some kind of crazy haul, like I'm talking multiple firsts, a second, maybe Jerry Jeudy, I would take that. I would 100% pounce on that, and I would ship Aaron Rodgers to Denver. That is what I would do.
Well, was it Pat McAfee today said something along the lines of there's like almost every team is like to give Aaron Rodgers what he wants. Am I like
whatever he wants?
Anything there?
No, you're right. You're right.
Basically, if a team wants him, they'll give him what he wants to get him. But it would have to be a trade. Oh yeah, okay.
You want to elaborate on this?
Okay, so I had that tweet about my brother-in-law's dog who tore his ACL. So at the end of the show, you know, we had just got out of this really heated debate, and I was like, hey, you guys, go check out my page, donate. You know, Floyd, he tore his ACL. He's a big dog. He's like a Mastiff Shepherd mix, just like basically a horse. And it's expensive. So I was just like saying, hey, spread the word, you know, share, donate, whatever. And then everyone got like sad. So I don't know. It was a mess of a show last week. He has surgery tomorrow morning though. So that's good.
Well, okay.
You missed a lot last week. See what happens when you leave.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. You know, I'm like yelling at people like, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. By the way, please go donate.
I wish I was here for that. But
you were like 30,000 feet in the air. We'll forgive
33,000 feet.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Calculated.
All right. So before we get into the next kind of phase of the show, I guess I have to do an ad read. I would suppose, right?
I mean, sure. You never asked for my permission before, so I don't know why you're asking for it now.
Well, Jen, because you're the only one here right now, so I'm making sure that we're both on the same page. I'm making sure the communication is clear and streamlined, and that you're okay with me doing an ad read at this point in the show. Is that okay?
Yes, that is okay with me.
Yeah, Chris, I can't do it in a London accent. Oh, you bloody fucking wanker! This show is brought. No, I'm kidding. This show, ladies and gentlemen, is brought to you by Artec Ventures. The goal at Artec Ventures is to collaborate closely with founders throughout all the investment and fundraising stages, turning their visions into successful companies. Since 2020, Jen, Artec Ventures has helped turn great ideas into profitable businesses that help make an impact on industries, communities, and beyond.
Sorry, I wasn't Eli. I didn't, echo it to you. I don't know what's happening in the chat right now, but I don't know who threw that up. If that's because, yeah, there's stuff happening here. I mean, to be fair, it's been like weeks since they've had an Artec reading, so they're getting a little excited.
They're pent up. I get it. I completely understand. Maybe that wasn't the right word to use for that.
Oh my gosh, poor Eli. Just when he's not here.
Yeah, he's just getting obliterated. There's a chance that Eli will be here before the end of the show. Whenever the end of the show is, there's a chance that he's going to pop in here and then probably stay for the rest of it. He's a very, very busy man right now because, like we said, he's getting married. So as most married men,
excuses.
As most married men, he has his balls in his wife's purse already. So I'm just kidding. Eli. Just kidding. I see Andrew face palming.
Well, we know, Mariah's probably not watching if Eli's not here, so
absolutely.
You might get cast with that one.
Plus, if she wants to punch me for it, she'll be able to do it on Wednesday. So
yep, and she's the bride, so she can do what she wants.
Exactly. I can't protest. It's her day. Okay, so in the past week, the Packers have done they've pulled off a couple maneuvers to clear up cap space. They cleared up over about just north of $23 million in cap space, and Lord knows they needed to because they were about $50 million over the cap.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were approaching Saints territory, and you don't want to approach Saints territory because then you're just a laughing stock. But the Saints have made it work. This is pretty much what the Packers are doing. They're pushing everything down the road, kicking the can, just down the road, adding all these void years to the deals. And yes, Riley, I'm sure it was just north of 23 million. No, not 25, not 22. It was 23 million. Just a tad over that. You son of a bitch. But yeah, they restructured Kenny Clark, they restructured Aaron Jones, and they restructured David Bakhtiari. So according to Brian Gutekunst, that was those were the easy ones to get out of the way, and there's more coming. Either in the form of restructures, in the form of extensions. We have no idea right now. Everything is still kind of fluid. Everything's kind of up in the air as we speak. So,
yeah, I don't know how much more to touch on that. The numbers are the numbers, so we'll kind of just prepare for more moves. And I know that obviously there's other players who we're kind of waiting for moves on, and to be able to do that, you have to move money around. And I'm not a money person. I'm no Russ Ball, but I trust what they're doing is going to help. And, they're going to do whatever they need to do to be able to get the team they want back next year. So I don't know what.
Don't
what
look at the chat.
At?
I'm looking at the chat. Don't look at the chat.
Why?
Because Chris is a funny guy. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, okay. Well, I was expecting something more inappropriate, but it looks pretty clean in there. But no, so, obviously you have to be able to make moves for guys, if you want to bring back guys Davante Adams, we can kind of touch on the franchise tag thing. That's not something that they usually use, but are you kind of leaning towards them probably using that franchise tag?
Yeah, no, 100%. You're not going to.
It's been over 10 years?
They're so mean today. Jesus Christ. Yeah, the last time they used the tag on somebody was Ryan Pickett in 2010, and there's no way in hell they're going to let Davante Adams hit free agency.
Right.
He's not going to touch the open market. And I think you view Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams as.
I was going to say, if you bring back one, you bring back the other. If you lose one, there's a better chance of losing the other. They're kind of a package deal at this point, and the best way to be able to do that is to be able to tag Davante. And hopefully that's something that he do they have a say on that? I don't totally know how the franchise tag works, but can a player deny a franchise tag?
I don't think so.
Or it's
that's why a lot of guys are kind of upset when they get franchise tagged.
Okay.
Because it's just that 1 year deal that's it's prolonging
Right.
the
So
opportunity for them to strike an extension.
it just kind of has, you just have to make sure that those conversations are done in the right way where it's like Devontae is not upset the way he's coming back. But you kind of just hope that the guys in the office are going to approach that conversation in a way that's like, hey, I mean, this is a team that can get Devontae what he wants in the long run, which is a ring, hopefully. So, you just hope those conversations aren't sour when you're franchise tagging a guy.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, neither side wants to use the franchise tag. The Packers don't want to use it on him. Devontae Adams doesn't want that. And like the chat mentioned here, yeah, he can hold out, and that's something that could go deep into training camp and prevent him from sitting out of the season. We've seen that with multiple players through the years. So, so
let's say there's no franchise tag, what do you think that they do then for him? Like, let's say Rodgers comes back, they don't tag Adams, like. That's a lot of money then that you have to...
Well, they have until March 9th. March 9th is going to be, or is it March 8th? It's March 8th or 9th. That is the deadline.
The 8th is the deadline.
Right. So if they don't do it by then he's going to enter free agency. And you don't want to do that because you're going to have all kinds of teams throwing big money at him. Be like, hey, don't go to the Packers. We can lure you over here. Yeah. You like that? Yeah. And then, that's the last thing you want. You don't want him being lured away from you. So you slap him with the franchise tag, then he's not going anywhere. He can hold out, but he's still part of your team. He's still with your club. So yeah, last resort for the Packers. That is not what they want to do, but it's more than likely what's going to happen with the prospect that they're going to get an extension done at some point.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to watch. And I don't know if Aaron Rodgers does retire, or if by some crazy chance that they trade him, you can still keep Devontae Adams. You can still keep, you don't have to keep both of them. You can still keep the one guy because he's going to be on the franchise tag. It's just a matter of whether or not he's going to play and not hold out. That's the tricky part. And yes, here we go. Yeah. Okay. I knew it was March. It was either March 8th or 9th. Okay. I know I'm not a total idiot. Yeah. And the deadline, like you said, to work out that extension is going to be July 15th. So thank you. I knew there was some date in July. I knew it was like right before the start of training camp, but yeah, that is the news with Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. And apparently the word through the grapevine right now from Tony Pauline at Pro Football Network.
Way to know your source.
Yeah, thank you. The Packers are going to try and work out an extension with Preston Smith's representatives while they're at the combine. So
I was excited to hear that.
Yeah,
I don't know how anybody else feels, but I love Preston Smith. And I think that, obviously we're not anticipating Z being back, which is a huge loss. But the way that Preston Smith and Rashawn Gary have worked together this year, I love it. And you just kind of hope that Preston Smith can stay at that level, because I know he had that little bit of a bump the year before, but I don't know if you can work something out with him. He's somebody who he wants to be here, and he comes in and plays like he wants to be here. So he's somebody who, if you can bring him back, I'm all for it. I don't know how anybody else feels, but he's one of those guys where if he's back, I'm very happy about it.
I feel like regardless if they bring Preston back or if this is all just smoke and they bring only Za'Darius back and Preston's out of here, I think either way you need to fortify that pass rush. You need to go probably aim high for another edge rusher in this class.
I'm not saying to stop at Preston, but I'm not saying like sign Preston and then don't worry about the position.
I know. I'm just adding on. Jeez, God.
I don't want you to belittle me like that. I need to make sure that
belittle you. What are you talking about?
Like, yeah, you want Preston back, but we got to do this too. Like, I know.
What the fuck? Anyways,
continue with what you're saying.
I don't even know if I want to at this point. Jeez. I mean, shit. What was I talking about?
That they need to fortify the edge and the pass rush and.
Right. Yeah. You need to aim high for another edge guy. Anyways. Sorry. I'm scared to talk now. I don't want you to beat my ass.
Yeah, me. Whatever. Yeah, instead of fighting with the chat this week, I'm going to fight with you.
And for no reason. for no reason. Like I didn't even do anything. I'm literally just fucking here existing.
Yeah, at least we're here this time.
Okay, so if you had to pick between, you know what? If you had to pick between either one of Zadarius or Preston to keep in that room, because either way, you cut one of them, you're gonna save some money. If you extend one of them, you're gonna save some money. That move in itself opens up a certain amount of cap. So I'm sure you already knew that. I don't mean to belittle you.
Yeah, thank you. Be aware of my knowledge next time. Are you done asking the question? You want me to answer now?
Yes.
Okay, because I've answered this question before. I can't remember where it was, but as much as I love Zadarius and everything he brings to this team, his play, his leadership, all that stuff, there's just something about Preston Smith that I love more. Obviously there's qualities that Zadarius has that maybe Preston Smith doesn't quite have with the leadership stuff, but Zadarius, with his health and his injuries and stuff like that, you can't always rely on him. And Preston Smith, he took the pay cut to be here and he met his incentives and he played really well. And I mean, he was a force this year. So he's somebody who has proven to me deserves to be on this team. And I'm not saying Zadarius doesn't, but Preston Smith has kind of, in my eyes at least, outshine Zadarius this last year. And obviously, Zadarius being hurt, it's not as much, it's not as fair, but I don't know, there's just something that was really special to me about Preston Smith this year. And I feel like I've talked about him a lot throughout the season and just loving what he's doing and highlighting him a lot. So it's a tough pick because together they're, the Smith bros, obviously they bring a lot and they're a great tandem, but there's just something about Preston Smith that has shown me I want him on this team. I want him to stay. And I think I've accepted Zadarius moving on, but to lose Preston as well, or instead of, I don't know, that one would just it would hit me a little bit differently.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the better player between the two is Zadarius, I think. If on an even playing field, I would take Zadarius Smith over Preston Smith, not even think twice about it. But the thing is, I mean, as you mentioned, Preston Smith, he does not miss time. Zadarius Smith, even before last season, he was dealing. Thanks, Jacob, for your contribution.
He's actually just sleeping while you're talking, but
yeah, I know. But even before last season, there were a lot of times where he would drop out of games. He would exit for a little while, or you'd see him kind of just laying there on the ground, getting help by the medical staff. So he's had this injury kind of issue the whole time he's been with the Packers. He hasn't missed a ton of time until last season. But Preston Smith, he didn't miss a single game in his career until last year, which conveniently enough against the Washington football team, the same team that drafted him, of course. So he missed that opportunity, had a little bit of revenge. I don't know what he'd be getting revenge for, but whatever. So for me, it just goes to the sense of durability. And I mean, he was not bad last year. Preston Smith was very good. It wasn't like 2020 or 2020 where he was good for half of the year and then the other half
kind of dropped. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing like that.
Which was why he came back on the deal he did.
Right. Which is why he took that pay cut.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with you. I would take Preston Smith fully. I love Zadarius Smith. I thought he could have been one of the best free agent signings the Packers have made in a long time, but just given the way their just money is right now, they need to open up room. I don't see a scenario where they're able to keep both of them. And it'd be perfect if they could, because you got Rashawn Gary ascending into an all-pro level, and then you got the Smith brothers still. You play one of them on a rotational basis. So it would be the perfect room of edge rushers, but it's just tough to make it happen.
Yeah. Wow, we actually agreed. Look at that.
Yeah, well, don't put too much stock in that. So.
Well, it's nice when we agree. I'm sorry.
It's nice when we agree. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Gosh.
You know what? Hey, you came at me first. Sorry, I'm defending myself now. I have my defense.
I was just saying something nice about how it's nice when we agree, and I agree with what you're saying, and then you make fun of me in a voice that I don't think I sound like. I hope I don't sound like.
Are you done?
Wow, so rude.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You came at me first, and now I just gotta.
So defensive.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Oh my God. All right. So
Just because Eli's not here, like I become the punching bag. So
Yeah.
unfair.
That's right. I think we covered just about everything, right?
Were those all the points? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, we could talk about Michael Clark, which
Yeah, because
what? That wasn't even a cheap shot. What the hell?
yeah, don't come at me. They like me more, so they're gonna defend me.
Yeah, they like you more.
They do.
I don't know about that.
You should have seen the things they were saying when you were gone last week.
Oh, I know. They were talking about Matt. They were talking mad shit about me. I trust me. I know. I see.
Oh, you do? I
everything.
thought you didn't watch.
Even though I wasn't watching, I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh. You just know.
Riley keeps. This is like he even in the chat earlier. He kept bringing up Javed Best. This like fake player. He does not exist. Javed Best does not exist. That wasn't
this is
a real
supposed
player.
to be a person?
Yeah, that was actually a person. He doesn't exist. He's not actually real. So
It sounds like something, I'm not gonna ask.
Yeah, well, no. There's no point. So I think we covered just about everything. Andrew, is there anything you would like to add? Just nod your head. No? Okay. See you next. All right, everybody, thank you. This is a relatively shorter show than normal because I mean, come on, there isn't really a lot to talk about. It's just two people running the show here with another guy behind the scenes. And I mean, it just is what it is. We're kind of getting back into the swing of things. Once free agency starts, then we'll be able to kind of get back into our normal flow of things. And that's going to be that. Plus, Jen told me before the show, she's like, "Oh, fuck everybody watching the show. I'm tired. I want to sleep."
Shut up! I said, yeah, I'm tired, but that doesn't mean I'm like, hey, screw these guys. Let's cut the show short. You're just trying to set me up. Unbelievable.
That's right.
At least I'm here almost every week.
So am I.
See,
the last couple weeks has been difficult. Okay.
I know. Whatever. Priorities, I guess.
So everybody, thank you for watching. And again, there will be no show next week because we are going to be at Eli's wedding, and I'm sure you'll see pictures of that all over Twitter. Pictures of drunk ass Eli and myself, more than likely, and maybe Jen. Maybe we'll get her to drink. Who knows?
We'll see.
Yeah, you can follow Jen on Twitter at BigMac_4, and you can follow me on Twitter at It's Zach. That's actually a lie.
It's wrong.
I changed it. I changed it to It's Zachary J. No more It's Zachariah J. I had to make a brand change, but it doesn't matter. And you can follow Eli.
Change.
You can follow
Identity
Eli.
crisis.
Yeah, at Book of Eli _
Figure
NFL. What?
Learn how to read. Figure it out. I mean, you've only been saying it for like how long have you been doing the show?
I have not been saying this actually for that long. I'm not the one that does that normally.
You should know his handle though. Are we done?
So anyways, everybody, thank you for watching. We appreciate all of you. It was another phenomenal show. And again, we love that you guys tune in, and we appreciate you all. So have a good night, and we will see you 2 weeks from tonight.
What you think, Fred? All right.
Fred.
Like, dude, you're an idiot.
I'm doing very well, Jen. Is it just going to be me and you, or Eli and Zach going to pop in?
Yeah, they'll talk every once in a while.
Every now and then we'll kind
He was already right away.
It kind of we're used to you attacking us, so
Yeah.
Sorry.
look at
Let's just put it this way. Who do you see as the quarterback week 1 for the Green Bay Packers?
I see